What do you call a foreign policy so reckless, so short-sighted, and so utterly foolish that it forces China, Japan, and South Korea, three countries with centuries of animosity, to suddenly link arms and start planning a united front? You call it Trump's Tariff War 2.0. The man who once promised to make America great again just handed East Asia the greatest strategic gift they could have asked for: economic unity. And here's the painful truth. This isn't just another trade spat. This is how empires lose influence. Let's break down exactly what just happened and why this move might go down as one of the dumbest geopolitical miscalculations in US history. Please drop a like and subscribe to the channel before we get started. Back in power and desperate to look tough, Trump launched a second wave of tariffs, this time targeting key imports from China, Japan and South Korea. His targets? The most strategically vital sectors of the US economy: electric vehicles, semiconductors and microchips, consumer electronics, green energy equipment like solar panels and wind components, automotive parts like transmissions, sensors and smart systems, and high-grade steel and industrial machinery. These aren't just any products, these are the backbone of modern American industry. And here's the punchline: the US doesn't manufacture most of these things anymore. Over the past 30 years, America outsourced this entire supply chain to, you guessed it, East Asia. So slapping tariffs on those countries is like cutting off your own oxygen. How the tariffs will crush the US economy. Trump says he's protecting American workers. But let's look at who actually gets hurt: US auto industry. Most EV batteries are imported from South Korea and China. Even Tesla relies heavily on Asian suppliers for key components. Tariffs will increase production costs, forcing automakers to either raise prices or lay off workers. Detroit already panicking. Apple, Qualcomm, Nvidia, all dependent on Asian chips and electronics. The US doesn't have the fabs or infrastructure to replace that overnight. Tariffs mean higher costs, delays and lost market share to global competitors. US solar panel installers rely on Chinese-made panels and inverters. Tariffs will drive prices up, stall adoption and kill thousands of clean energy jobs. Machinery, sensors, steel, much of it comes from Japan and Korea. Small US manufacturers will get squeezed hard: fewer inputs, higher costs and slower growth. American consumers, get ready for price hikes across the board, from electronics to cars to appliances. Inflation, yeah, it's coming back with a vengeance. So who wins here? No one in America. East Asia unites the historic trilateral talks. And while the United States is busy shooting itself in the foot, East Asia is getting organized. On March 30th, 2025, the trade ministers of China, Japan and South Korea met in Seoul for their first major economic dialogue in 5 years. That's not a coincidence. That's a response. They agreed to strengthen RCEP, the world's biggest trade bloc. They discussed regional supply chain integration, and they opened talks on a potential trilateral free trade agreement. Think about how wild that is. These countries don't even like each other. But Trump's idiotic tariffs just gave them a common enemy and a shared incentive to cooperate. It's like forcing Batman, Joker and Bane to form a startup. Heidel, how this screws the US long-term on-screen text. This isn't just about tariffs. This is about global influence, strategic trust, and the loss of America's last major card in Asia. For decades, America kept a delicate balance, friendly with Japan, allied with South Korea, and hostile with China. That triangle gave the US leverage over regional dynamics. But now, Japan is hedging with China. South Korea is looking east instead of west. China is quietly winning without firing a single shot. US allies are tired of being treated like pawns in America's ego games. They're realizing it might be safer to work with each other than rely on Washington. The bigger picture: Asia's rise, America's decline. The future isn't being built in Washington, D.C. It's being engineered in Beijing, Seoul and Tokyo. RCEP already covers 30% of global GDP. East Asia leads in 5G, electric vehicles, artificial intelligence, robotics and advanced manufacturing. Meanwhile, the United States is too busy playing trade war to invest in its own capacity. Trump thinks he's launching an economic counterattack. In reality, he's pushing allies away, hurting American companies and accelerating the very decline he claims to fight. Conclusion: a historic blunder. So let's recap. Trump just slapped tariffs on America's most important suppliers. He triggered inflation, chaos and strategic instability. And he pulled off the dumbest geopolitical magic trick of the century, uniting China, Japan and South Korea. This isn't a power move, it's a historic blunder. And the consequences? They'll echo for decades in trade, in diplomacy, in the global balance of power. The age of the United States calling the shots in East Asia, well, it's coming to an end. It's over. And the man who helped end it wasn't Chinese, wasn't Korean, wasn't Japanese. It was an American president who thought tariffs could rebuild an empire. Congratulations, Donald. You didn't just lose the trade war, you lost the future. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe for more content.